Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. And I have a lot of my schoolwork that I get done for this week done. So, like I promised, when I get my schoolwork done, I'm a good boy. I don't know why I said it like that. When I get my schoolwork done, when I'm ahead, I'll start recording some videos and start uploading it. And then when I start getting behind again with school, then, we'll hold off YouTube a little bit. But I'm excited. I got a Matt Ryan film review. I'm going to start breaking down Miami's rebuild. I want to have a little bit more of an affirmed opinion on Tua. Watch him a little bit more. Watch some of his games. It's only take me like an hour or two to watch. I'm not going to do like a 3-day deep dive. But, yeah, that should be interesting. But today I want to talk about Saquon Barkley and the New York Giants. Because he's our biggest trade asset right now. We can try to tag and trade Leonard Williams maybe, and we can get like a third from him. But, that's not really that realistic. You take a look at we do a tag and trade Dalvin Tomlinson. But the biggest asset right now is Saquon Barkley. We also have Evan Ingram. I like a lot of these prospects in this year's draft. I'm thinking about trading back, especially if you have a lot of those top receivers who aren't there. There are some secondary receivers that are decent, and we don't really have a lot of draft picks this year. But I'd rather have some high-end guys. Saquon Barkley is the highest asset, I guess Daniel Jones, that we have right now. Now, who would be willing to trade for Saquon Barkley? Miami. They have an 18th overall pick. I think he's worth that and probably a little bit more. The Cardinals may be interested in a running back like a Saquon Barkley. Him and Kyler Murray would be legit. I would be scared of Kyler Murray and Saquon Barkley. They have a power running game like that. They have a high pick this year's draft, 15th overall pick. You have the Chicago Bears who feel like they have David Montgomery. Going through the rest of the teams, there aren't too many teams that feel like they need a running back. Atlanta needs a running back, but they also need a lot more things. They would be willing to get part with like a second and a third. You telling me with Matt Ryan, Saquon indoors with, that offense, with now a building offensive line, that'd be legit. So those are some of the teams right off the bat that I feel like could want to trade for Saquon Barkley. Maybe even the Jaguars. James Robinson had a great season. Even their backup is serviceable. But, if you bring Saquon Barkley in, you have new ownership. It's like, wow, that sort of thing. He is our highest asset. So, Giants fans, I'm going to propose this question to you. Would you trade Saquon Barkley? And also, who would you want to get? Would you want to draft the running back right away? Or do you look at some of these free agents, maybe like an Aaron Jones, and just, let's replace him right away, which honestly wouldn't make that much sense. But the 2017 draft class was so good, you can almost look to get one of these guys that don't get picked up by anybody with a pretty good deal. But I definitely do miss the Saquon splash plays, and I don't think he's right now. He's at the highest peak of his value. Let's just say that. So the next thing I really want to talk about with the New York Giants is the Cleveland Browns and us drafted back-to-back in the 2018 NFL draft. They picked one, we picked two. They were 0-16, we were 2-14, so rock bottom. It's not really that much of a difference with that. Were we 2-14? No, we were 4-12. I don't know, but it's basically we picked back-to-back. We're at rock bottom, and now Cleveland Browns are 11-5, and we went 6-10. But last year, Cleveland went 6-10, and this year they went 11-5. Now, I solved out some key things that they improved on from 2019 to 2020. First of all, they got a new head coach, competent, fit with Baker, and the offense was able to hum. The Giants, we're hoping Jason Garrett, this continuity going into this year, you have a bunch of new quarterbacks, coordinators, systems. It's not going to be a COVID year this year again. So that creates a little more continuity. Usually, Daniel Jones starting to meet Jason Garrett. Why rock the boat again? And plus, we'll see Jason Garrett's the guy, see if Daniel Jones is the guy. Understand that line of thinking. That's something that's going for us like it was for the Browns. But last year, they had a little bit of uncertainty too, but it felt like Baker, Stefanski, that system just clicked. Second of all, the Browns had an easier schedule. Remember we were talking about Baker, how he plays so well against teams that suck. This year, they actually had a negative point differential. They got blown out by teams like Pittsburgh and Baltimore at the beginning of the year. And they had some weather games, especially like against the Texans and that kind of just in Oakland or Las Vegas that ruined their point differential. But you guys get what I'm saying there. They had easier schedule. This past year, we played some difficult teams. The easy teams that we played against were fairly easy. We had the Bengals and Washington and our in-division opponents that kind of made our schedule. Yeah, but we played some hard teams this year. We did. And Cleveland went from one of the toughest schedules to one of the easiest schedules. I think we're going to have a pretty easy schedule next year. We do play Kansas City and Tampa Bay, both Super Bowl teams, on the road. But other than that, I mean, Chargers, Denver, it's looking fairly good for us next year as far as scheduling. I don't think we're going to have nearly as hard of a schedule next year as we did this year. So that's something we're looking forward to. Daniel Jones had 11 touchdowns. Last year I memorized his statistics, but I think this year 12 touchdowns, 10 interceptions-ish. Let's just say that. Baker last year, 22 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, improved that to 26 and 8. You take a look at the splits with and without Odell Beckham Jr. He was a legit elite quarterback. 26 on pace for something like 30 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in a 16-game stretch after Odell got injured. I mean, we're talking about elite stuff after Odell got injured when they got started with the season. The main thing was turnovers. The defensive turnovers didn't change year after year. It was the offense that had fewer turnovers, and their offense was legit. If you take a look at past Giants teams, they've even gone to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on the screen, but it's been the offenses that have been legit. That's the offenses that have been able to put up enough points. The defense had timely stops, but the offense has had to overcome and at least be top half in the league. And that's what the Browns were. They were top half offense. Their defense didn't improve that much. I don't want us to make a lot of moves on defense, to be quite honest with you. Because you have Lorenzo Carter coming back, and you have O'Shane Ximines come back, and we lose one of Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams. But if you take that offense from 34th to the next step, we were 31st in offense in 2017. That's what gave us the number 2 overall pick. And the year after that, we played fairly decent. We won 5 games, and that was one of the best seasons since. But, yeah, so the key to the Giants is a better offense with Baker, lower down the turnovers, comfortable in the system, know the language, know everything like that, and have the weapons. Jarvis Landry, who's their tight? Not Hunter Henry. Who am I thinking? Austin Hooper. Have a legit tight end, Kyle Pitts. Jarvis Landry, a solid wide receiver, and then have the guys down the roster that you trust. Rashard Higgins, Baker, for some reason, had continuity with him. And then the offensive line. Things click. Jack Conklin, Jedrick Wills. So I think what the Giants, based on what the Browns have done, their secondary is their downfall, but the Giants have a better secondary than the Browns. So we already have a better defense. Instead of focusing on defense, getting that CB2, I think Patrick Graham can figure it out. We were piecemealing that entire season. We were fine. As long as James Bradbury is there, we're not going to have another Cleveland game. And even against the Ravens, we held our own in that game a little bit. Struggled a little bit on the defensive line. I get it. But, these guys are still growing. I like our defensive line rotation. I'm not saying ignore that completely, but don't focus on it. I'm saying the priorities of the Giants, based on Cleveland, there's no exact formula, should be solidifying that offensive tackle 2 position, getting your Jack Conklin, if that makes any sense, getting your right tackle, solidifying your guard play. I'd rather, honestly, at this point, get a, what's the guy's name? A guy who did a film review yesterday. I should know his name. Elijah Vera Tucker. I'd rather Elijah Vera Tucker on that offensive line. Shane Lemieux was one of the worst guards in the league. If you look at PFF and you just look with your eyes. I'd rather get a guy like that at number 11 or trade back, number 13, 14, whatever, than get a CB2. Well, what does CB2 do? We'll have one less completion? I don't understand. And plus, we have a Julian Love. We've been able to piecemeal that. We have been able to piecemeal our guards. We got lucky that one time against Seattle, but, we saw with this team that offensive line play, when it's good, we can be a team like Seattle. But yeah, we haven't had that consistency. I prioritize guard, tackle, solve this offensive line, get an offensive weapon in the draft. I've talked about it. Get Joe Thuney, pay him. Maybe get rid of Kevin Zeiler, get Joe Thuney, draft Tucker at 13. Then you have Thomas, Thuney, Gates, Tucker, and whoever you want at right tackle, Matt Parrott. So that'll be a legit offensive line. You'll have Saquon back, and you'll have, well, he already drafted it, and you'll have Allen Robinson, let's just say that. But I think he may lean more towards the Jets. We'll talk more about our biggest competitors with wide receiver and free agency in probably my next video, because I have some, rumors and stuff, like the biggest competitor to get, Kenny Golladay. But that's for next video. Hope you guys did enjoy this one, though, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.